Hey, 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 it's Kimberly Smith Austin here, and I want to welcome you back to another episode of the Made to Inspire podcast. I am here with my awesome and amazing cohort partner, Misty. Let me back up. Miss Misty Kerrigan. Hey, Misty.
Hey, Kimberly. I am so excited for today's topic, mainly because I spent a lot of money last week.
Yes, you did.
A lot of money last week. And I want our listeners and I want you to think about in the last week, how much money did you spend at other businesses?
Tons. I
Because
mean,
you
we do
travel
it.
too.
I did travel.
So
That's
you
right.
spend a little more than you normally would too.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
And that's part of, I think, part of our process as business owners, as entrepreneurs, as executives. Spending is a part of our lifestyle. But before we get into this show, let me just take a moment to give a big shout out to Miss MS, Misty Kerrigan, who got married this weekend. Congratulations, Misty. Don't try to
Thank
skip
you.
past that little part.
Yes, it's official. I am a married woman.
Ooh, 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 ooh. Congratulations. So excited for you.
Thank
So
you.
excited for you. Okay. So now that we've gotten the most important stuff out, let's get into the show. So you mentioned we've been spending money these last few weeks because of travel and kind of living our lives. And as a result of that, there's expense that comes behind it. But I know this week's show is going to be all about business. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I know you're thinking we're always talking about business, but this week we're calling it business for business. You know B2B, which is business to business, but now we're talking about B4B, right? We want to talk about how you, as a business owner, entrepreneur, how you can support the other businesses around you, other businesses that you work with, that you work for, and that you want to come in community with. So we're excited about the content today.
Yes.
We hope you will be too.
We got on the subject because when we were doing our looking at our business, we have a business expense that we talk about. And one thing I do like is we come together and we say, is this business expense still benefiting us, the business? And then we looked at that and we said, it's not only benefiting us, the business, but it's also benefiting a close friend of ours, their business. And it's a win-win. Yes, it's an expense, but we hope it's more of an investment that we get many return on. And we're starting to pick up some speed and see that. But it was just a conversation that kind of started a bigger conversation was, how do we as business owners and entrepreneurs invest in other businesses by helping our business, but yet really taking that into consideration that where you put your money, you're putting votes for, right? And
Absolutely.
especially in this time, and we talked about in the last two episodes, as we hit recession and as inflation increases, where you spend your money is important, and it's getting more important. And you're going to see some money being taken out of some expenses that were more like for fun. And now really people are looking and they're going through, like, if it costs $10 a gallon, I might not drive down to that movie like I normally just wouldn't think about and do. And I've been at the pump lately and I've seen people putting in $5-6, like putting in a gallon of gas to get to where they need to go to take care of their business, right?
That's right.
So it's a very serious topic, and we love to take things not from fear, but from education, and we love intention. So if we're looking at everything going on from education and intention, we want you guys to join this bigger conversation on how investing in other businesses can impact and help your business grow and thrive.
Yeah, that's a huge conversation, especially as you mentioned in today's economic climate when most people are cutting expenses. But the reality is it takes money. You got to pay to play. If you're in business, guys, you have to spend some money. There's some expenses that you're going to endure. And here's the truth. You're probably paying another business to get to that next level in your journey as a professional. And so we really want to take that spin and look at how you as a business owner can be intentional about who you invest your dollars with as you help fuel this economy. Yes, I said fuel the economy. The truth is we can't pull all of our money out because when we do, guess what? Everyone loses. But when we continue to pour in to local businesses, local, individuals, or whatever we're doing, we're going to help fuel the economy, bring it back to a stable place so that our businesses together can continue thriving.
You got to create that energy. And we're not saying that from a don't be frugal. We're saying to be frugal. Now, don't get us wrong. If you know Kimberly, she's one of the most frugal lady business owners out there. She's taught me some ways to be frugal. So we're not saying don't be frugal. We are saying don't be making decisions out of fear. There's a difference between let me take these, let me be intentional, let me invest this in great places, and I'm not going to spend it all because we're in a crisis, because we're not in a crisis. Things ebb and flow, but during these times, more millionaires are made than any other time. So as a small business owner, and especially as an entrepreneur, this is our time. And we want to plug you into those places that are going to energize you and energize your money. We've had other guests on the show talk about finances, and finances, all they are is an exchange of energy.
Absolutely.
An exchange of energy. So how do we keep that energy into momentum? How do we build that energy to build us to momentum? And as Kimberly always says, create our own economy, not live in fear in the other one.
That's right. And, to that point, Misty, I have to make a small little correction here. You mentioned I'm frugal. Yes. But I've changed the term from frugality to a strategic spender. Right?
Say it again.
Strategic spender. And that's what I think really matters. And I'll tell you just a really quick story. Back 20 plus years ago, I read the book, The Millionaire Next Door. That changed my world. If you all have not read a book and you really want to know about the mindset of the affluent marketplace, start with that book. That author has since written other books that talk about the influent. It's not always the people that we see with our eyes that we think are the affluent, or those that are making the most money. Sometimes it's the secret ones. It's the person living next door to you in an old home, driving a used vehicle, wearing traditional clothes that they've learned how to strategically spend so that they can do great things in the world.
Again, that's The Millionaire Next Door, Thomas J. Stanley.
Yes,
we'll have that. If you want to click the link, we'll put that in our link. But I love that, and I will now change that. And here's why. And I think you're very brilliant for changing it. When we hear different words, we're talking to our subconscious, those get embedded. So frugal sometimes means cheap, and cheap is not what you are.
Yes.
So you're very strategic, meaning that you take the time to intentionally spend where it's going to either make the most impact or bring you back the most investment.
Absolutely.
So I love that. The new term.
That's right. ROI.
Strategic spender.
That's right. ROI. Always looking at that and recognizing that, money is a tool. It's a resource. And when you learn how to use it correctly, you're going to learn how to keep it in your hands at all times. And I know there's so many, and we're going like sideline just a little bit, it's related, but I know there's so many people in the world who've been fortunate enough to have the knowledge and a skill set that even if their money was taken from them, their riches, their fame, and their fortune, they had what it took up here intellectually, and they were strategic enough to get those things restored. So
you make a great point. I want to say those are the things that we're teaching you guys is it's not about the amount of money you have or don't have. It's the strategy, mindset, and connection you have to money. Because studies show if you have those aligned, you could lose your millions and gain them right back. But there's some people, those aren't aligned, and they win the lottery and they're worse off than they were. So it's not about a lump sum of money and a bunch of money coming into your life. We hope it does. Don't get us wrong. But we also hope that you have the skills and knowledge to manage it and not lose it or be even worse off than when all that money hit. And for us that maybe weren't born with a silver spoon, that it helps us. How do we get more than one silver spoon with our mindset, on how we're implementing it, even how we feel in our relationship with money?
That's right.
Great point, Kimberly. You're on fire today.
I love it. I love it. And you just triggered me. And so I was like, let's talk about it. So here we are. Let's get into this show, Misty. A lot of great pre-talk. Let's talk about how we believe as business owners, we should be out there, be business for business. And today we have 3 action items that we believe will help you become a successful business in your community. Yes, in your community. And the first one it says, don't wait, let me classify. Let me back up and slow down. Don't just look for business, support the business. And what I mean by that, and what we mean by that, is sometimes we're too busy looking for ways to earn income and find projects and clients that we're just hunting. We're hunting. And in the process of hunting, we forget that there are other options or other opportunities out there awaiting us. And so we have to look at the concept, it's better to give than receive. I also believe that when you help more people get what they want, you'll get what you want. And so look around you and say, what businesses in my community can I utilize to help me get to my bottom line? For example, Misty, you and I are both members of an amazing co-working space called Hera Hub here in our local community. And we partner with Hera Hub. I know you just had a fabulous event at Hera Hub where you partnered with that organization, but you also brought in other businesses within that collaboration. So you didn't just look for their business. You said, how do I look for business, but at the same time, support the businesses in my marketplace? And in the end, guess what? You all had a huge win. Would you agree?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And I love that too, is we know and love the owner of the Hair Hub of Temecula. And when we are in talks too, when we're looking at, there's lots of places to do trainings, but we know that we put an investment into it. But who are we putting that investment with? And we believe in supporting entrepreneurs or small business owners, especially those out there grinding. Like Alicia opened up during 2020. She opened up a public space in 2020. Yes. And so it's amazing to see not only it survive, but now in 2022, starting to just pick up that momentum and thrive. That's when you say, don't just look for biz, support biz, even in other ventures or even in other trainings, even on the podcast, but we talk about Hair Hub. And if it's something that, you're tired from working from home or it's too much distractions, come check this out. So supporting a biz means talking about it outside of it because you're so enthused about it. Absolutely. In the general public, when you're out and about, or when you hear someone, and Kimberly's one of the best for this, when she hears a problem or complaint, getting a little more info and then offering a solution that connects back to some of these businesses that she highly supports.
That's good stuff. And, really excited because we will be bringing the owner of Hera Hub Temecula here on the show here in the next few weeks. We're starting off this series, the Business for Business series, and we're going to be bringing other businesses that support businesses to help each and every one of us thrive. So super excited. So remember, don't just look for the business, support the business. Number 2 is go in business with the business. Misty, tell us more about that one.
So we've talked before about joint ventures. Me and Kimberly are a joint venture. Our two businesses combined are sort of like our skills and passions collide. But when we go in business with the business, another thing that people usually don't know about us is we do trainings outside of the business we have Made to Inspire, but we're sharing resources, we're sharing knowledge, and we're supporting each other's business outside our main business. And so people are like, well, that's crazy. I understand how that works. Well, that's because we're in business to support one another. So when something falls into Made to Inspire, that's amazing. But if it falls outside of that scope and into Kimberly's scope, I want to be able to share with Kimberly, because the more successful she is, the more successful I'm going to be. And so we want you to take a look at that when you're looking at going to business with businesses. Is there ways that you can collaborate, to whether it's sharing facilities, equipment? I know we share what do they call about knowledge in the head?
Knowledge in the head.
Yeah, that's a professional word, but
knowledge-based
content.
Right.
We freely share our knowledge-based content with one another in all 3 of our companies. The one we run together, and then the 2 that we have. We share supplies, equipment. I love the Kimberly makes me laugh. Kimberly, I'm gonna tell a secret about you.
What?
I'll be like, oh, we're gonna get that printed, and you're like, oh, I'm not using my home printer. I haven't had prints in that for years. But Kimberly will also be the first one to loan me a discount to where I could get it professionally printed.
That's right.
But that's another way of sharing the resources we have with one another. And then what are some ways, like what I'm doing right now, and is bigger events with more companies.
That's right. And so, there's so many opportunities. I think about last year, Misty, when we did a joint venture with several businesses for that
Oh, yeah.
Refresh and Reset conference. We all came together, we built a summit, and then we had an offer that was available to the marketplace that in the end benefited us all. If someone bought the program, everyone got a portion of that, and we were able to walk away with a little bit of something in our pockets as a result. So we really want to challenge you to go in business. Who are those local businesses around you? Maybe you're I'll use, for example, a mental health professional, but guess what? There is another company here that serves people physically. We know that mental and physical health go hand in hand. How do we partner together to provide a total solution for the marketplace? I think as a business owner, your entire goal should be, how do we serve the whole person? Not just a portion of them, but the whole person. And if you look around your community, everyone within your community has a desire to serve the folks within their community. Now, let's come up with a solution that can help everyone. That helps. Go ahead.
I say one of the things you've been doing, and we just talked about for the last 10 years, is you do this amazing run on Memorial Day. Now, it is for a great cause, and all the businesses come together for that cause. But I want you to think about the impact of the business that you give and have when going to business, other business. You need t-shirts, you need trophies, you need all these things to help your race be successful and having people come back time after time, and the proceeds going towards this amazing cause. But you have to go into business, other businesses, with other sponsors, with other individuals to even come out. But really is, I have this money to invest. Where is this money investing, and how is these people that invest this money with going to help my business and my cause?
That's right. That's right. And as we approach Thanksgiving, I think about another annual event that I've been putting on now for, I think, 9 years, and that's the Turkey Trot. And it's a turkey trot and food drive. And what we do is, part of the admission is showing up and bringing canned goods so that we can fill the pantries of our local food banks, which we know in turn feeds the hungry that are on the street in our local community. So we're always got to be looking at, how do we serve the greater good, not just our organization? Because again, when you help people get what they want, you will get what you need. I remember Zig Ziglar saying that many moons ago, and I've held that close to my heart because I know it's true. If it's going to be, it can't just be about me. It has to be about me and those around me, so we can create a better community.
And I think where we're really great at is win-win-win. How does everybody win? And the great part is, getting some exercise before Thanksgiving is huge. And this helps the individual who's going to probably consume more than 2,000 calories that next day. So having a turkey trot as an individual is helping you health-wise, you bringing food to help those who maybe aren't as fortunate as you are, helps those, and then bringing that to the bigger community helps the community. Because what a community to be in, those that come in a day before a major holiday, exercise, run a fun race for a great cause, and bring something that's going to help them.
That's right. Get your huffing and puffing on before your stuffing.
You did not.
Yes, I did. Yes. All right. So let's go on to our third action item, which is shouting out the business from your business. And I think this one's pretty fun, Misty. I'm going to let you talk about it. I'm going to open it up and just simply say, today we're in a world where we have an opportunity to advertise. Social media is one of the biggest advertising mediums right now. And so sometimes companies do some fun things and they take over each other's social media. They give them access to their social media to share and broadcast what they have going on. Or maybe you're just saying, you know what, I want to give a shout out to Tina Gottlieb today for her agency, for her outstanding job, work well done. You have a sphere of influence. Your sphere of your SOI, also known as today. And those folks know you. And guess who they trust? They trust you. And as a result of the trust they have for you, they're going to go look up this referral, this name, and this person that you're recommending. That's how you support businesses from your business. What else, Misty?
You nailed it. Hold on. I want to write that down because I want it in the notes. Sphere of influence. That's meaning that there's usually 5 to 15 people who always do what you say, not in a like I'm the master, but you know, like you truly, they want to follow your word, or you're very important for, just like you have that in your life. If they recommend something, you'll go see it. So think about your spheres of influence as if someone says, oh, I saw this movie, I think you'll love it. If they're in your sphere of influence, you're going to go watch the movie. If they're not, you're going to be like, how do they know what I love? That's weird. So it really just is, it's the people that know you and love and trust you, and you love and trust them, that if you're starting to recommend some of these things, that does explode out sometimes into, now you have the words where they're influencers, where they have a bunch of people following them. But if you don't believe in sphere of influence, I want to mention one family, the Kardashians. They're not just millionaires. Some of them are billionaires individually on their own because of the sphere of influence. Whether you love them or hate them or don't know who the hell they are, they're some of the best branders in the world when it comes to sphere of influence, because they understand if you like the show and you like us, or you hate us, you're still probably going to buy our makeup because you've heard of us.
Right.
So when we take that back a few, is on your social medias, whether you have 100 followers or 1 million followers, the more you talk about something, the more it's going to be in their influence, in their sphere to be influenced. And sometimes we don't know what we need until we need it. So I've been going to the same chiropractor for years now, and maybe your back was fine, but if not every day, you don't want to overdo it, but every once in a while, just the services that I might have all the time, just stop and say, just want to take a shout out, just want to say thank you, leave a review. Those are all ways to help those businesses get more business.
That's right.
And people see that and they know that. So if you have some really great stories about, or you had a really great experience, take the time. People will take the time when they're angry to leave an angry review than they would if they had an amazing experience to leave a great review. We're a crazy sort of society. But if we could start flipping that by just shouting out people in moments that, hey, this was amazing haircut, or think about the things I usually do all the time, like your bank. Who do you bank? Your taxes. Where do you grocery shop? Maybe even that small mom and pop shop that maybe is a little pricey, but thank God they were open on Thanksgiving to grab that last thing of cranberries when no other store was, right? So it sometimes is. And I think, Kimberly, you nailed the saying for today, which is, how do we think outside ourselves?
Yes.
Not that these businesses exist for me, but that these businesses exist. How do I help support them?
It's about business for business. And I'll tell you, that's one of the beautiful benefits of even connecting with your local chamber. You have an opportunity to connect with other business owners in your community. If you're not plugged into the chamber, go ahead and check out, find your resource in your chamber, and just go to some of their networking events. I know our local chamber has a monthly coffee event. They have a monthly mixer, things of that nature. Also, look at organizations like BNI. BNI is a great source where other business owners come together with the pure idea of helping, supporting each other. That's what they're there for. Yes, you pay to play, but in the result of that, each person is committed to making sure they're putting your name out there. They're sharing the praises to your organization, guys. There's so much out there, but it's going to require a shift in your thinking. You can't just go in me and me and me and me. We were built for community. And when we recognize that, we're then going to operate in a place so that we can build our community. If you're the only business in the organization, or excuse me, only business in the community thriving, it's not a good thing. You're a lonely man. And we know lonely doesn't work. So as business owners, know who you're working with, who you're working around, who your competitors are, and keep up in the market, because here's the truth. It's beneficial to show support for other businesses, regardless of their industry. And it's true, especially in today's economic climate, when many businesses, entrepreneurs are struggling to stay afloat. Let's give them hope. Felt like Jesse Jackson
drop the
on that
mic
one.
on that.
I know, I felt like Jesse Jackson on that one.
One of the things too is like where we invest our money, but as a business owner, if you're successful, where do you invest your time? Because some of these groups you could mentor. You could come back and mentor and help others be successful just by sharing your knowledge and your time. Oh, I got one. Be a guest on a podcast. Made to inspire. Because just by sitting down with others and going through your journey, good and bad, others are inspired by that, and others You might even inspire others to strive for more.
That's right.
I love comedy, and I was watching a comedy show, and he's Fluffy. He's a big comedian. He's really funny. And he, for the first time, got to speak at this huge Dodger Stadium. And he said, the only thing that opened my mind to being able to do this was that the comedian Kevin, he got to do Philadelphia Stadium. So when you're out there, and comedians are their own businesses, you never know what you do and how it's going to inspire others. So by deciding where to spend your money and coming in and shouting out a business or talking to a business about mentoring or going how you could help them, you might inspire them to make some changes that they need and to outlast this craziness that is going on and create their own economy. So never, ever, ever doubt what your time, money, and energy can impact.
I love that, Misty. Love, love, love that. So guys, as we close up today's show, 3 things. Remember, don't just look for business, support the business. Number 2, go in business with the business, being a joint venture. And number 3, shout out the business from your business. We believe in you, and we know that you will be better together. And so with that, like we say every single week, there is something out there waiting for you.
Now go get it.